using AI. Great, another AI tool.
Danger, Will Robinson. Okay. Hi, Top Teas and Justin. I know you're lurking, so if you can hear me, hi. I'm in. I might as well keep them on. I don't know. Oh, I wonder what that noise was. Well, what that little flashy lights was. I've not been on here for a while. So, yeah, I know. I said I was going to do more and more and more of these. And did I? Did I? No, I did not. So I'm going to keep my eye on the chat. I was going to bring some work in to do, and guess who forgot to do that? Cheers, guys. I didn't bring a drink of water, so hopefully everything will be out. Teresa, hello, and Tracy. Oops. Yeah, Tracy as well. Are you moving soon, Tracy? Was that you that messaged me that said you were moving? Yeah, you made it to a live. I didn't announce this one. Yeah, I found myself at a little bit of a loose end, and I thought, you know what, I might do a live. And Gary said, I bet you don't. So I thought, I'm going to now. So here I am. So it is you. Okay. So I had a word with Chris about, mailing there, and it's the same mail zone for us as America. So he's just it should have all just picked up anyway, but he's added it. Excuse me, I've got your nose. He's added it to the list, so it should be fine. So it's kind of the same sort of prices as if I was sending to the USA. So it's not too bad, actually. So yes, that's a strange place to move to. You know, I guess it's not if you've got work or, someone has work or whatever, but I didn't expect it. If I had to expect anyway that you would move, it would not be there. But exciting times. Cheers, guys. So I thought, I hadn't done a live for a while, got cold hands. I had a bit of a strange night last night. I was watching TV with Gary. I'd done all my work, and I came out of here, and as I walked into the lounge, I thought, I'm really tired. So we sat down and we started watching Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, and I just found myself missing bits of it. And I thought, I was so tired, I just kept yawning, and I thought, why am I so tired? It's not right, So after missing a big old chunk of it, I said, we need to stop this and watch this one again because I've missed so much of it. And so he said, why don't you go to bed? And I said, no, I can't go to bed this early because, it was really, really early. So I said, okay, I'll just go and have a nap. Well, I woke up at midnight and confused, thinking, is it morning? I thought I must have gone to bed. Didn't realise I still had my clothes on because I just laid down. So when I looked, it was midnight, and I thought, well, how is it midnight? Then I remembered I was tired and I'd gone to lay down. So I got up, fed the cat, did all the stuff, locked up, went back to bed and woke up at about 8:20 this morning. I was just so amazed that I got so long. You might be moving to Alabama next year. And your future husband is a lawyer. Very nice. And Tracy, welcome in. That's 3 of us. Wow. When you think about it, there's not many of us in here, and 3 of us are Tracy's. Hi, Diana. Good afternoon to you. So, yeah. Okay. So is he going there to work then? That will be very different to what you're used to. I should think very different. Wow. Cool. So I've been shopping earlier. I think as well where I laid down so long with that mega sleep. Seriously, it was about 14 hours. Unbelievable. It was a couple of like broken bits, but I went straight back. So when I woke up with a bit of a backache where I'd laid there like it so long. So, hi, Magic Frog. How are you? Welcome in. And Kim, good afternoon. Making a granny square cardie. Need more squares. 5.5 inch. You need some ideas. Please help. Well, I've got the year of granny squares going on. There must be some there that you kind of fancy. You're a Jane. I'm a Tracy Jane. A Tracy Jane. I am, but not with a Y. Mine is just the Jane, Jane. And you're a Mirabelle. That I used to have a magazine called Mirabelle when I was a kid. Was it a character in there? I don't know, but I remember it was a Mirabelle. I think it was a magazine. I used to get lots of girly magazines back then. Tammy, and there was one called Debbie, and then there was June, which merged with one called Pixie and became June and Pixie, and Mirabelle, and there was Jackie. They're all called girls' names, and my mum used to buy them all for me, but she used to read them. So I think she just wanted. She used to buy them for me, but she really was the one who really wanted them. I think because she read every one of them. Your family's all in Idaho. But diddly boing. Sorry. Well, there's this comedy sketch. I don't even, it's probably a fictitious place name, but it was a bediddly boing in Oda, Idaho. was the actual thing. I really wanted to look it up one day to see if bediddly boing Oda, Idaho actually exists. Probably not, I would say. Probably not. Hi, Dodo Dixon. Welcome in, and to you, JK. Listening while you make candles. That's cool. I often fancied doing that. Made them at school. We had this really odd craft lady when we first moved on this island, and I upset her a little bit because we had to make tie-dye, and we had to get a pure white t-shirt. I didn't have one. All my t-shirts were dark because I've always worn dark colours, and she's always never really had white. So my mum bought me a white t-shirt, moaning about the cost of it at the time. And so I took it in and we made this tie-dye. And it was horrendous. It looked awful. And when she said, "That's beautiful, isn't it?" I went, "No, it's ruined a perfectly good t-shirt." I just said, "It's hideous. I wouldn't be seen dead in that. Seriously, it's vile. And what a waste of a t-shirt." And so that was it. She hated me from that moment on. But it was horrible. It was all murky colours. Hi, Maritza. Candles and soap. Yeah, I want to do both of those. Always wanted to try, but never quite had the nerve because of the mess that it can make. I have some yarn to dye. Gary bought me these packs. And, I really need to watch someone who knows what they're doing first, I think. But he bought me these boxes of, there was 3 that you could dye. And I thought that's good that he's done that because, you've got your colours in there. So I could mix and match those so that they wouldn't all be the same, but I could maybe take some of the colours out and just do one in those colour schemes. And have I done it? No. Do I even know where it is? Maybe not. I thought it was over there, but I'm not so sure now. So, but I really do need to do it and actually get these yarns dyed. Probably gone out of date. I don't even know if they do go out of date, but it's been a while. Bad tie-dye is a tragedy. It was murky, kind of grey mauve. Not beautiful at all. Ugly is what it was. Don't need to be let loose with dyes or paints or anything like that. You can barely handle your yarn. It's so true, isn't it? That's why I haven't done it. When you go to school dinners, do you remember school dinners? And they used to do the pies, and they were in those big trays that were like this wide and about that long and about that wide, and they were about that deep, and they had their pies in and stuff like that. I thought, I need one of those and I can dye in it. And I did have one that was for a turkey, like a Christmas one, and I have no idea where that is. Be perfect for it though. But I kind of think, you know, once you've done it, how are you going to unravel it? Because, you know, it's all going to be in that thing, and there is no way it's not going to get tangled, is it? And I'm not good with yarn bath in the slightest, so it's a bit worrying. But, you know, there are people out there doing it. Even Crystal from Bag of Day is doing a really good job dyeing yarn. And when I say even Crystal, I mean not even. She's no reason why she shouldn't be good at it. It's just that, you know, other people you don't associate with doing it are doing it and doing really well with it. So maybe I should watch somebody do it, you know, watch someone's videos and get a bit of confidence before I actually tackle it. Maybe they've got some tips that it doesn't tangle if you do this. I don't know, but I wouldn't be good with tangle. You had glitter. It was taken away from me by my husband when we had to go to work with sparkles on his face all the time. It might have looked very fetching, all sparkly. I don't think Gary would like being sparkly. It was bad enough today. We were shopping and he needed tea bags. And because they were all in, I don't know if it's just the company or if it was Asda that were doing all this breast cancer awareness and everything was pink. He didn't even want to buy the tea bags because they had a pink kind of label on them. And I said, it doesn't mean they're like marshmallow flavour or anything. It's just purely for breast cancer awareness because they're donating money to it. So he got them in the end, but I don't even think he wanted to do that. My daughter likes to make slime. There, huge mess, but she loves playing with it. I thought he looked fetching with a sparkly face. He disagreed, unfortunately. Such spoil sports, aren't they, really? So, yeah, I would love to do candles, though. Scented. But you know, when it comes to things like scented candles, don't you think they smell better before you light them? Sometimes lighting them, it produces a completely different smell than if you just had the aroma of the wax before it melts. I don't know why that should be, but sometimes they don't smell too good when they're on fire. Not that they're on fire, but you know, when they're melty, you know what I mean. Sometimes they're just better as they are intact, but they don't really give off much of a smell, do they? Much of a scent. But yeah, I'd like to do this dyeing, but I'm kind of nervous. I think it's like anything, you know, when you are planning to do it, before you do it, it's a bit of a nervy situation, isn't it? You're a bit more concerned about messing it up or making a mess, or knowing me, I will get dye all over these hands and it won't come off. And it will be all kind of big blobs and splodges of purple or something all over my hands. So, yeah, won't be very nice. Sorry if I keep looking, but it's the only way I can see it now. You subbed me. Well done. Oh, you subbed to Magic Frog. Okay, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself here, aren't I? Where are we? Haven't moved on fragrances yet. I made my first candles yesterday. That's cool. Very cool. Soya candles are best. No fumes and don't affect asthmatics or pets. Oh, I don't think about that because I do have asthma. I wonder if you can make wax melts. Yeah, I'm sure you can because, you know, it's just melts, doesn't it? Maybe you have to put more fragrance in melts. I don't know. Our candle makers out there might know more than I, because I mean, the last time I did it was at school. I quite liked making the candle, and I would like to make soap. Gary goes through so much soap. Seriously. He's a bit of a soap fiend. But I don't really use soap. I use gel, like shower gels and stuff like that. Love to try candles, but you know, it would be a bad situation. Liquids, me, no. I know my limits. I think I'd be okay. Although, you see, I've had all these ideas before because we've got one of these places on the island here where they do those concrete ornaments for the garden, and they do little ones, they do gigantic Roman statues, you know, everything. They even do big, heavy stone seats that look like they're carved from a tree, so you can paint them. So yeah, I've had loads of stuff from there in the past, but and I used to paint it, and I had this idea of painting them on camera and showing them, and they're still concrete coloured, and I've had them like that for maybe about 4 years, well, since 2001 probably. Yeah, so I still haven't painted them and got in a mess with those or anything. You admire people with hand-to-eye coordination. Most shop candles are paraffin based, sets your asthma off. You've changed to soya and no problems. I don't know where you'd get them from though. We made sand candles as Girl Scouts many years ago. That was a lot of fun. Sand? How do you make a sand candle? Or do you put sand in it? Oh, never heard of those. Yeah, I couldn't join the Scouts or Guides or Brownies or anything like that. My mum was not into taking me to stuff like that. I think she just saw them as some kind of crazy Stepford child organisation. I don't know, but I was never one for... I asked her once if I could go to Sunday school, just because some of the kids in my class went and they all seemed to have fun. And so she said no. We walked past once and I said, what are those kids in there for? And she said, it's Sunday school. And I said, can I go? She said, no. You don't want to go to school on a Sunday? And I went, oh, but they all seem to be having fun. I suppose I didn't think about the fact that it was a religious thing, you know, Sunday school. But she was like, no. I always felt I was deprived, you know, of my... I just wanted to play with the kids, basically. That's all I really wanted. Tea's getting cold. Oh, my God. Too easily distracted. Yeah, I get that. It's like, oh, shiny. I'm a bit like that myself. I'd be pouring a scent and see a butterfly or a squirrel, and there'd be a dog stinking of too much lavender scent. When I was young, I was very naughty. I'm just going to finish this tea. My brother had oil paints, little tiny tubes. Very intriguing they were, and just perfect for kids' size. And I was forbidden for touching them. And they're in his bedroom and his easel and everything set up. He was a very good painter. And I snuck in there one day and I'd got one of these tubes and I'd got it all out on my hand. And I looked around for something and there was nothing. So I was doing this and I had just red everywhere. It seemed to be like so much of it. And then the dog came in and I went, Sherry. And I just wiped my hands basically all over her back. And she went trotting off downstairs. And the next thing you hear is my mother screaming. And it turns out she thought it was blood because it was red. And she was screaming and she thought I'd been hacking the dog or something with a hammer or a knife, as if I would. You know, I was quite a peaceful child. But she was like, what have you done? And then when she washed her, it went pink. People paid good money for pink poodles. She got one for free, but she wasn't pleased. She wasn't pleased in the slightest. I couldn't understand it, you know, in a way. She got one for free, you know. Other people paid a fortune. Hi, Claptrap. Excuse me. Welcome in, and don't forget the thummies, guys. So yeah, I've been well, we were meant to go shopping today, Gary and I. We were supposed to go maybe Maidstone or somewhere where we could look for holiday clothes and things like that. But I don't know, even though I had a mega long sleep last night, didn't really feel like it. So we just went locally. Now, you know, they do yarn in Aldi. Bear with me. Well, it seems that they do it in Lidl from time to time. And I happened to see on Facebook that somebody had put their Lidl yarn on. And I thought, oh, I must check out Lidl then, because there's one on the mainland. And so I went, not a ball of yarn. And I said to the guy that was stacking shelves and stuff, I said, did you have any yarn in? And he said, no. And I said, oh, he said, we do it from time to time, but no, we didn't have any. And I said, do you have any gluten-free stuff? And they said, no, we've never done it. And I thought, how about moving with the times? You know, a supermarket that is basically turning away customers. Makes no sense, does it really? At least Aldi have come up with gluten-free products and moved with the times. But Lidl, no, they're stuck. And, you know, I can see them going, because it's not exactly just like a couple of people that are gluten-free. It's a massive thing these days. Fairy Crochet, Mama Christie, hi. Oh my God, I found you live. Just woke up. It's 8:40 a.m. in California. Well, how lovely. I woke up about 8:15, but that was after something like 14 hours sleep. I don't know how it happened. It's weird though. I've been getting tired, like mega tired sometimes, and it has been worrying. But I've been sort of having some appointments with the hospital and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully it's nothing to worry about, this extreme tiredness I get every now and then. But it was a mega sleep, absolutely mega sleep. So everyone's saying hello to everybody and subbing and stuff, which is cool. So yeah, hopefully not anything untoward to worry about. All I know is I have a nodule on the right lung, which we have named Norman. Norman the nodule. Hopefully he is nothing to worry about. And I'm going to move that back there. So this is my stitch tutorial that I did yesterday. It's beautiful. It really is. I'm going to definitely make something with this stitch. In fact, if I had made this swatch larger, I could have just carried it on and made a scarf or something, couldn't I? But did I? No, I didn't. My magnet, I've had all blood tests. They tested everything, even my B12, and it was all fine. So I have no idea what's going on. All I know is I have Norman the nodule, and it's not cancerous, obviously cancerous. So I was on this fast track cancer pathway. They reviewed the scan and thought there's no cancer present, but there is a small nodule. We will test it again in 3 months. So probably about first week of January, I'll have a repeat and see if it's grown, shrunk, gone, stayed the same or whatever. I did have one once before, which stayed the same, and it is just what they call a granuloma. So your body kind of walls up foreign bodies, cocoons them, sort of thing. And that's what it did with the other thing. So we just have to wait and see to what this is. But there's got to be an explanation for why I get so weirdly tired like that, because it is, I've never experienced anything like it. It's almost like narcolepsy. I just cannot stay awake or do anything. Oh, thank you, Christy. That's nice. I gave an unnamed module 2. I'm waiting to see a neurologist. Maybe I should call mine Norma. Yours is a girl. Well, Nigel, Nodule. But it's Norman. I chose Norman. I've used Norman so many times in my life. I used to have a tortoise called Norman. Stormin Norman. I think named after Norman Schwarzkopf at the time. Hi, Jane. Welcome in. Don't forget the thumbs if you've not done them already. And her message was there and then it disappeared. How strange. I'm sure I didn't see things. It was there. So what have you guys been up to? Have you been busy? Are you making stuff for Christmas or Halloween? Anything interesting? I'm making at the moment a Captain America blanket for Gary's niece, and that'll be cool when I've got that done. She always made me homesick for the UK. I moved over here 42 years ago. I missed the first part. Hang on. No, I can't see I can't see the first bit. Anyway, yeah, making this blanket, and I did the square for Captain America square on a part of my Year of Granny squares, and so I'm doing it in acrylic, and I've got some red, white, and blue and silver. So I'm making the whole blanket. I've got the more difficult squares to do. I did all the plain ones, and now I have the stars. So the shield ones, I've got to do those. So that's the next thing, and then I can join it all together and get it done, which will be cool. I've been quite good recently finishing off some of my WIPs that have been hanging about, and it's quite satisfying really when you finally get them out of the way. It's amazing how having all these unfinished work around you does actually drag you down. I think it's a bit like having clutter or a loft full of stuff that you never see, but it's there, and it's like clutters up your life in a way. And once you have a good clear out, it's amazing how bright and airy you feel because you've got rid of all this old stuff. So it's very therapeutic. And so kind of finishing off projects, I think, is very similar. You have this, what's the word? Kind of, it bogs you down by keeping all these things that are half made. A little while ago, I started just throwing them out. If I wasn't going to do them anymore, or they didn't interest me, I didn't particularly like something about it, I didn't sit there and unpick it or any of that. It's just put it in the bin and get rid. And there was a blanket that I'd got quite a long way into, and I just did not like the yarn. And so I thought, you know what, just bin it, get rid of it. And I must admit, it did actually feel really good just to get rid of them. But yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like the yarn. It wasn't great. So it's gone. Fingerless gloves and cat ear beanies and a hexicardie for you. Maybe a Christmas granny square blanket next. Well, hey, gotta go. Catch it. Okay, Tracy, thanks for coming in. Thank you for being here. So yeah, I didn't announce it. I didn't sort of tell anybody that I was going on. So unless people go and have a little look on YouTube, they're not going to see it. But I'm a bit like that though. Kind of no drink, dear, just a spur of the moment sort of thing. I don't. I very rarely plan. It's just I don't know why, but I've always been like that. Always been a spur of the moment, non-routine-y. Just do it because you fancy it, sort of thing. And I kind of, when I had my kids, and they say, "Oh, get your kids in a routine," and I think like, no, it's a dirty word for me, that routine. But obviously, them going to bed at a certain time, that's one routine I did quite like. In the end, when you need your peace. I did see you. Never been on a live, but you wanted to thank me for Christmas mystery bag which you received today and for keeping you company while you crochet. Well, thank you very much. I hope you liked your mystery bag. Always look for you and always miss you by like 1 hour. Oh, not today though, not today. I'm going to go make a cup of tea and take me with you. Can you make me one? I would appreciate that if you could. Still working on your V-stitch blanket, 1 row each in golden yellow, slightly mustard, light grey and bright light blue, slightly aqua. I keep getting this ad pop up. From your stash, the colours go surprisingly well together. Why do they give me those ads? It's not like an ad that comes in, like gets in my face, you know, like one of them. It's just something that goes in front of the chat. Right. That's part of being a creative mind and a fibre, an artist in general. Oh, hello, Pixie Mojo. Working on stock for Christmas fair. Your first one. I want to do one. I want to go to either a Christmas fair or, you know, just a normal craft fair. I want to go to one with a view to looking to see how people do them and maybe doing them. So I could take some yarn with me, some of my leaflets and stuff like that. I could make a few things up in readiness, you know, some of my projects that I've made, like those bags and stuff like that, just to sort of hang up and sell those if I had to. But yeah, I'd like to do it. And Gary said to me today in the car, we had a kind of a discussion, if you know what I mean. And he said, I don't know why you don't do some craft fairs. And I said, because I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't got any display stuff. And I know you can get it on Temu. I've seen it. But I said, I can't just keep lugging the boxes and putting it all on one table. Wouldn't really be right. You wouldn't get as much on a table as you think. And then I've got to keep going in and out to the car with these great big heavy boxes. And he said, well, if I'm off work the day, if it's a day off, I'll do it with you. And I thought, well, there is that. But I said, I still want to go first just to see what people take in and how it all kind of works, you know. So yeah, that would be cool if I could do that. Your daughter does them all the time. They're hit and miss. But if you need any advice, just drop me a message. Well, I do kind of need advice. I mean, do you take display stands? Because I've seen these type of ones on Temu where you can kind of put it on the back of the table and it's got a few cubbies and places to put stuff, like display cabinets. And you could kind of put a few yarns in them or something like that. Some maybe hooks and needles. I've got a whole batch of knitting needles that I could just knock out because I rarely sell those from my shop. Crochet hooks, yes. Perhaps it's because my shop has grown up from Crochet Rocks, Hobby Rocks it's called, so that it encompasses everything. And I do some knit kits, but people don't tend to buy the clover bamboo knitting needles that I have. And sometimes I think it's a good thing because I don't really have the packaging for them anyway, so I'd kind of just like to take things like that there and sell them off, get rid of them and things like that. So maybe I will. Or perhaps I should just put them all on somewhere like eBay as a job lot and have someone buy them who's got a shop. England always have such beautiful ones. It's a lot of work. Look at creators here and show market setups. It's helpful. Different levels of display, wooden crates, mug type holders for scrunchies, pegboards and hangers. Try and be innovative with your branding and displays. Draws people in. Well, I just need to go, I think. Go to some, check them out and see. I know that there are a few that have happened around here. And the girl across the road, she has a Cricut and she does lots and lots of stuff and sells it, plates with something on or mugs with things on and all that sort of stuff that you can make with vinyl and on the Cricut. So she does quite well. And I've often said to her, maybe next time you go, can you give me a shout when it is and I can pop along? She never bothers. She never, ever bothers telling me or messaging and saying when it is. And it's like she just doesn't. So consequently, I never hear about them. But I would like to go just to check them out and see what's what, how people go about it. And I know that it depends. I mean, there are That was, you know, Jan Carruthers. Sometimes she used to say that she would go to a craft fair, take all the stuff she's made, and she couldn't sell it for love nor money. And then there's other people who sell out of everything at different ones. And, you know, it's just luck in a lot of respects, I think, that you hit the right people at the right time. Ali Cat, hi, welcome in. Yeah, so I'd like to go just check them out first, rather than turn up and be the poor relation with my one trestle table. You know, I want to see that I'm doing it. To be honest, if I'd always kind of make the most of a display, but you know what I mean? Not doing it before, I'd like to see how others do it, and then try and top them, if you like, you know. Try and sort of make. Well, I used to do party plan years ago. So I kind of got that blooming ad just pops up in front of my chat. So yeah, I used to do that. So I kind of used to take all my stuff around with me. It wasn't yarn, it was a totally different thing. But I used to have a boot of my car and had a clothes rail and everything I used to take into people's houses. My brother-in-law made it for me out of gas pipes, which was brilliant. I mean, he didn't look like it was, but it was. He had all the right joints, and he made me this clothes rail, and I used to take it everywhere with me. And then if I ever did a car boot sale, I'd take it with me and put it all clothes on it. It was really good. So yeah, I used to do things like that then. But then again, I was 20 then. I know I'm only 30 now. But you know. Mishy, hi. Woo woo. Good to see you. And 13 months a member. Wowza. And Dodo saying hello. It's got all really hot in here. You don't knit, but you watched a review of square needles. The host was surprised how easy they were to work with, especially with slippy yarn. I kind of don't know. I've seen them around, but you know, I'm very fussy with it. I don't even like wooden anything. I just can't do it. Although the Lantern Moon crochet hooks that I had were so slippy, you would not have known that they were wooden. They did not seem it. They did seem like they were kind of a black metal. It's also display setup and having a banner. Easy way to check out. Oh, that's a point. See, I wouldn't even have like card reader or anything like that to do it. But you know, my son Paul's other half has a Cricut, so I could possibly get her to make me some banners and some signage and things like that, because she's got all the stuff. She did these. Let me see if I can find them. They were down here, but I don't know what I did with them. I meant to show them on my chat, and did I? Bear with me a sec. Probably over here somewhere. Got a couple of, not very, just designing some bigger. Here we are. She made me these. Now these are something that I had in my shop, which were just like that, and then I made a few thingies with them. Here's one. Remember I did the Halloweeny kind of square, the cotton one. So she said, let me see if I can put your logo on it. So she made these for me out of the pink ones. So we got Crochet Rocks and Hobby Rocks. So there's the Crochet Rocks one. So they were just for me, and sort of show what she could do. And yeah, so she put those on. She's done a few things. So, I mean, she really got it because she does cakes, and she wanted to do cake toppers with the Cricut, and but she's done t-shirts because she's got the printable kind of vinyls. And so when her ex new partner and their kids, they're very friendly, and so she made t-shirts for them when it was their birthdays and things like that. Also, oh, I think I've read that one. You're sure they have announcements on Facebook and upcoming markets? Yeah, I'm going to have to check them out, aren't I? I'm going to have to look, because I can't rely on what's her face telling me, because she doesn't want me to know, obviously. You can get a free square to use with phone or tablet. A lot of people don't carry cash. A free square? What's that? Yeah, you could do tote bags. Have you all hit the like button? It's free. Thank you very much. Yes, don't forget the thummies. So yeah, I'd kind of like to go though, before I have all these brainwaves and ideas about all the things we could do. Kind of like to go, but I could, if in a way, could have a joint stall with me and Victoria. She can do stuff from her Cricut and sell stuff there, and I could do mine. So that would be better as well. There's some up. Oh, what you mean for taking? See, I always assume that people take cash to things like that, but we're getting more and more cashless, aren't we? And it's because I don't have an actual shop. I have an online shop that I don't have the card reader, but I have seen a few kind of advertised because I have a business. They every now and then I get kind of things sort of sent through to me, and plus my my webman. Hang on a sec, my books are annoying me now. These are where I write my patterns down. I just can't, and I've really used to just do one. At one point, I had so many on the go, and I started getting really, really good, just putting all my patterns or ideas and stuff that I write in there in one, and I could find them. And now I've got about 3 on the go again. I've gone backwards. Yeah, I'm going to have to sort of look into that. Thinking of a cake tier style thing for displaying books, needles and notions. One that folds apart. Sorry, it's because I haven't got my glasses on. I'm being a bit what's the word? Vain. Yeah, I should do. They're here. I would be able to see it better if I did. Just saying. So yeah, I wouldn't take everything with me because I've got so much stuff. I really have a lot, and I've been buying a lot of things recently for my Christmas bags and things like that. So I had a very, very big YouTuber place an order for some bags the other day. So, you know, every time I send off mystery bags and things like that, I get a tad nervous. What if they don't like it? It's yarn, what's not to like, you know. No one's ever said didn't like that, you know. But it's so worrying, you know, when you've sent them off and it's left you. It's now like, oh wow, you know, maybe I should have put this in instead. Maybe I should have put that in instead. You know, it's kind of like a big worry when it leaves you. But well, it's done. It's done now, and we'll just have to see. We just have to see. Oh yes, Nishi, I do. I do still ship to the US. I know some stopped. I just looked it up, and they do have the square in the UK. It's free to order one. See, I've got Stripe. No, Stripe must do one, I would have thought, because the Stripe is for my shop. So it makes sense if I use the same kind of company, if you like. They charge too much. They do charge too much for taking the money, but, you know, I have to do it. I could put Klarna on there, and I did toy with the idea, but I don't want to get anyone in debt, so I kind of didn't put Klarna on, but I think it's a freebie that you can do that. Yeah, still shipping to the US. I saw card readers for sale in DIY shop and wonder where you have to pay rental to the bank. I don't know. Good deal. Did you ever search for that yarn I talked about a while ago? What one was that? You have to refresh my memory. I've just ordered from King Cole. No, I lied. I've just ordered from Stylecraft. I'm going to do King Cole soon. I would have done King Cole first, but the new yarn that I want to order is not in stock for 2 weeks, and so I didn't want to do that and then have to order from them again. Thought I'd wait. And it looks very much like Ice Yarn Universe, apparently without the wool in it though, and it is very metallic and variegated, not like Picasso, like the ones behind my head, but more like the Universe. Unfortunately, don't have that really rainbowy one though, but I'm going to wait for that. So I've ordered from Stylecraft, and they have 200-gram cakes of tonal colors, and it reminds me a lot of the tonal hues from Bag a Day. When I looked at that, it kind of reminds me of it, the way it ombres. It is a real ombre, and they have 6 colors in, and I've just ordered them, and some of the special DK, special Aran, and special Chunky that I'm missing because I sold out of all the white. The white just flew. I think it was because they had some stock issues for quite a while, and everyone was selling out of the white, and I think I was the only one who had any left, so it just went, and I had a bit of a run on the white, and it all just left. And so I've put an order in for that as well. What yarn is that, Nishi? The fees are ridiculous. That's the trouble, isn't it? You donate all of your makes other than the gifts. You donate them, that's nice, isn't it? I mean, I used to give all of my stuff away. If I made anything, it was for a person. And unlike Krista from the Secret Yarnery, who can sit there and showcase all of the blankets that she's ever made, I thought, mine have all gone. You know, I don't keep them. I've got a handful that I've kept. And you know why I'm keeping them? Because I'm hoping that one of my boys will someday produce a granddaughter. And they haven't done it yet. They've given me 2 grandsons, and I made umpteen blankets for them. But I have these ones that are slightly on the girly side, and I just think I don't want to part with them, but we need a granddaughter. And when Charlotte had the last baby, she had a boy. So it's like, oh. So I just sit with these in my little stash of blankets. And yeah. But I would love to be able to sit and show all of my blankets, but I can't because I always gave them away. And I've only got a small house. You know, this place isn't large, so I can't actually keep everything I've made. Can't really do it. Angel, hello. Welcome. YouTube didn't notify. Yes, I do. I do ship to the US. I know that when Trump imposed the tariffs, that a lot of companies just didn't anymore. And there is a reason, because it's hard to calculate. But so far, I have not done too badly at this calculation business. And to be honest with you, it doesn't make that much difference. I don't understand why they make such a hullabaloo about it, because it really, you know, it's not that bad. And I'd kind of calculated what I did when I first started my shop. I went onto the website and I placed, I pretended I had an address in the US, and I just kept doing, what if I bought yarn, or what if I bought products and it weighed this much? And I put that through without finalizing, made a note of the price, came out, did it again with a different weight and different size, because obviously up to 200 grams is a small box, and then if you go from 2 to whatever, it's a medium box, and they go extra heavy. So I just kind of did all these dummy runs, if you like, without finalizing and paying for any of them. But I jotted down all the prices, so then all I did then was go in and sort out what it was on my, you know, on the listing of the, because if I go into behind the scenes, I can adjust the shipping rates. So I kind of did that. So that's what I did when it was, you know, when I first set up. So all I had to do was kind of add a bit of tariff to it, and it was fine. So not had any bad experiences as yet. Tracy, I had lost a Tracy, I have gained a Tracy. Sorry, Tracy Evans was in here. Sorry, didn't realise. Oh, I didn't tell anyone, did I? It's my fault, babe. I did not. I did not announce it. I did not. It's my fault. In this country, everything is done by phone. You just open your banking app or QR reader and seller's poster, enter the amount, PIN, and press. The bigger companies just add the cost automatically. Everything is gone stopping scams over here. The other day, my ex, do a lot for him, and somehow his car insurance came out of my bank, so he came over and he can't do internet banking and things like that, so I had to do it for him, and to just try and set me up as a payee. Oh, it was a nightmare, total nightmare, but got it in the end. Got my money back, which is, you know, what I needed. BRB, watching ads. Okie dokie. Oh, Tracy's back. Who was it Tracy, the other Tracy that went then? I know one Tracy had to go, so it wasn't you. Hi, Jeanette. Caught me live. Wahee! From Nova Scotia in Canada. Have to dig your notes. Can't think of it. It was a certain colorway of a yarn you carry. Back in the day when you guys and Juan and all the others ordered loads, lots of you were ordering the paint box. Was it that one? That was mega popular. Creative Grandma loved it. She ordered it, and loads of people did at the time. So I have lots of that and lots of the colors. I'm not sure then. I don't know if you messaged me or not. So yeah, sorry, I have run down a fair bit, but that's why I put an order in for Stylecraft today, got those ones out the way, and as soon as that yarn comes in from Kinko, I will order it. Also, I'm going to order some tulip hooks, because although I still have quite a lot of tulip hooks, I have a purple one, a mauve hook, a new one, and I can't remember the name of it now, but it's something like Magilla. But I'm going to order a few of those, mainly because I want one. Yeah, it's a true story. They are pretty, you know, they're just beautiful, and I want one. So I will order those. But I did have an order in my basket with them anyway. So yeah, just added to it a little bit. But I've got to get these things in, because pretty soon everything's going to start running out for Christmas. So yeah. Did you ever tell me, Mishi, what it was? I don't remember. It's not one not one that I remember you saying. 'Tis puzzling. I don't know. But yeah, I've been running quite low on some things. You're after a 325 and a 375. Yes, I do. I do have, I believe, but I've got a 325. But when I was looking at these new hooks, one of them was a 325. But if I do have sizes like 325, it might be with the tulip gold. I know I had 2.2 and that sort of thing, but whether I've got a 3.2, I don't know. But I also had double-ended, and I don't know if one of those was. It's an odd size to carry, isn't it? It's like they're so small, the difference between a 2.5 and a 50. You know, when you're kind of I must admit, the 2.2s and things like that, don't sell them very often. I know it might be more people that like doing amigurumi, that sort of thing. But it is difficult, really, to stock every size of every colour and every type of thing, especially when I'm limited for space. But I've been, I've been ordering. The only yarn that I've received in lately is the Fairyland and colourful yarns. I've been getting those in, and obviously the the ice yarn. That was before that one. Mishi, oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much. Mwah. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Oh, you didn't have to do that. You are so sweet to me. When you was a kid in London, you learned to knit. They would always sell single patterns at the... I know. Those were the days, weren't they? Those were the days. Do you know, I had, seriously, ring binders. You know, the ones that you used to have when you were at school, the small ones. They were this thick with the amount of patterns that I had inside them. And they weren't in sleeves. I just had, like, punched holes and put them in with the... Remember those little rings that you could get to reinforce them? So I had binders like this, and I must have had about 8 binders, and there were knitting patterns and crochet patterns, and there was a lot of baby ones because I made things for my brother and my sister when they were having kids, and I just didn't use them anymore. So I took them all to a car boot sale and I just sold them. And I didn't sell them one pattern at a time either. I just sold them as a binder, and probably for next to nothing. And I would love those patterns now. They were, not only were they retro, but they were, I mean, to replace them, it's ridiculous. But yeah, one of my biggest regrets is that I got rid of those. I should have kept them. Should have kept them. It is still a thing, but a lot of them have gone under, haven't they? The shops in the high street. Yeah, thank you, Mishi. That's so nice. Was it Picasso ice yarns? Yes, I have Picasso in my shop. I have Picasso Rockstar, which is like a solid coloured version of Picasso. Universe, which I love, and I still haven't made that stall cover. I've been doing it for so many years now, but it's made with Universe and Rockstar. Oh, I need to get that done. I really do. And I have Baby Glitz, only in that pastel rainbow colour, and one called Orlando, which is really, really nice, and only a couple of balls of something called Beadle, and that's my ice yarn. I will get more when they have it. Are they getting lots of ads? That's such a pain. Yeah, I don't really like the whenever it comes up, like, to go ad free. I just no pay for too many things. And I was sitting there the other day and I had this notification come up, and it said, "Thank you for signing up for Lionsgate." I thought, I haven't signed up for Lionsgate. So I just said to my son Michael, "Did you sign me up for Lionsgate?" He went, "Oh yeah, meant to tell you, it's just the free month trial. You can always just go and cancel it afterwards." So, oh yeah, if I remember, last time I did that, I ended up paying for MGM for like a year. I don't know. You love your one tulip hook, but it always end up losing the metal symphony hooks you ordered from me. I would still like to buy more tulips. I think they help prevent strain. They do when working on small hooks. I see. I've got a Moors, and these. That's the Moors, and I have soft touch. So out of these, I prefer soft touch to these. I do use these sometimes, usually on a tutorial when I can't find my hook case, which looks like this, but it's kind of red, and it's got the Mary Quant thing I made. We got Mary Quant inspired. I don't know where it is. Crochet hook case, and all of my kind of tulip red ones are in there, and I love them. And but I do. I had these sent me for free. They came free in some yarn. I still haven't tried them, but I have a kind of a yarn hook holder thing there. Took a block full of different ones, and whenever I look for a hook, it's never the right size. You know, and I just go, "Oh, what's that? Oh, it's 5. It's not the right size." So they just sit there, but they're never the ones I want. Funny enough. Did I ever finish my footstool project? No, That's what I was just talking about, and I really need to do it. It's really pretty. I made it with Universe, that really rainbow one, and the light salmony colour, or it might have been gold, of the Rockstar. It really set it off. I made all of the squares and I was sewing them together. I think there might just be a few that I need to kind of attach or do, and then maybe edge it. And I was going to use Velcro to go underneath the store, and I still haven't done it. And I've sprayed the legs and I did all of those things on that store. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it finished, because next year when we're on the decking, it's bigger now, I'm going to put that footstool pride of place and put my feet on it when I'm out there. Yeah, because I don't like sitting with the sun in my face. I sit with my back to it and I can put my feet up. That's the plan. Where have I got up to? No, I didn't finish footstool. You pay for premium, never see ads. It's totally worth it. I can't pay for premium. I don't really want to. But, you know, and plus I always watch the ads for people because that's how they get paid for it. And so I like to do that. Must be lucky you've never seen a commercial on YouTube. Really? Don't jinx yourself. I like it. Yard work beckons. Well, don't work too hard. Don't work too hard. Use old-fashioned boy hooks. I can't use them anymore. We've never had boy. Hi, Judith. Welcome in. Don't forget the thummy. See, I used to use... I've got one on this thing. Let me have a little looky. Bear with me a sec. Just hold the phone. I've got a pen on there. I don't know where that came from. But I got this free. It might have... There should be at least one hook that's not... There's not. What happened to that? There was a green one in there. And another pen. Look at that. There was a green hook that was thin in there, but I can't find it now. That's all the hooks that just sit there in case I need those sizes, and I never do. Never do. Where is that hook? I don't know. It's weird anyway, but I used to use them all the time. And I can remember mostly I just used to use the book standard ones that we all had. They were kind of grey. I used to use those all the time. But now I would really struggle using those now. I feel like they are too basic, you know what I mean? But I've got so used to having a grip that if I pick up one of those little thin hooks and use them, I actually get a bit of pain around here because it feels like I'm pushing my fingers too close together rather than holding it like this. It does actually hurt now sometimes when I crochet with a really thin little hook. But you know, if you have grip hooks without a grip and it's a size 5 upwards, I don't need a grip because they're quite fat, and so I feel like that's fine. It doesn't I don't actually need the grip on. But it's when they're really thin, if you're using say a 4 or 4.5 or something, and it's a little thin hook, then it hurts my hands now to use them. Only because I got so used to using grips that I have to use grips now. And it makes me realize just how much, kind of you could get arthritis and arthritic pain just not having those grips. But if I hadn't started on them in the first place, would it have happened? I don't know. But I don't suffer with arthritis or anything. Not yet. I think I've got the start of some strange kind of, I've got a bump there where I never used to have a bump. I did show my doctor once and she said, no, it's nothing to worry about. And I thought, well, why have I suddenly got this like nodule there, which I didn't used to have before, but it's not got worse and I haven't got them anywhere else. Just one of them funny little things in life. Woohoo! Hello there, Donna. How long have I been on? Don't know. How long have I been on, guys? I'm not really sure. I like the clovers, don't get me wrong, but I prefer tulip. Tulip are my hooks, my go-tos. Always use the soft grip because of osteoarthritis. Yeah, I think it just feels so much better for me now. Can't use one without a grip now. Still recovering from spinal surgery. Don't get hand strain as much now. But I find these ones are better for me. I don't know why. Perhaps it's the way I hold, perhaps with the pen or pencil grip, that these ones feel nicer than these, although these are fine. But I actually did buy some Susan Bates sleeves, and they were like this round and made of sponge, and you just put your thin hook in and then you can use them. But it was like how, you can imagine a cigar, what they call a stogie. Yeah, they're that fat, but of course they're spongy. They were strange, but I did use them for quite some time, and they were interesting, let's say. Dinner time. Well, hey, lucky you, I can smell mine, and I've been smelling it all day because it's in the slow cooker. And I was just said to Gary a little while ago, when are we eating? Because I'm starving. He said, I want to have a bath first. I was like, no. But he's made a really lovely casserole. Well, in the slow cooker. It smells amazing. Really does. So, yep. Thank you for coming in, though. Good to see you. You'll leave me running. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you. It's good to see you. Yeah, I should have actually announced it. It might have been, because sometimes, Tracy, your mum pops in when I announce it. But of course, I just popped on the spur of the moment. I haven't done a live for a while. Whenever I do one, I always say I'm going to do it more often. Every single time. It's like, oh, I really enjoyed that. I'm going to do it more often. And then there's a big old gap because I don't, I've a busy life. It's been really busy lately. We've had weddings and funerals, and when we had the wedding, we stayed overnight. I had my hospital appointments. It's just been one thing after another, after another, after another. But finally, it's all gone back to normal now. And and plus on Mondays I go see my grandson with Michael. So that's a day out as well. And this time round, hopefully we're going to see the other one as well. So that'll be good. They can play. But yeah, been really mega busy. And that's not, it's been hard to try and work around, really. Looking forward to getting back to normal. I don't think you were in here earlier, Tracy, and I mentioned this. I slept for 14 hours last night. I cannot believe that, but I did. I was so tired watching TV, and I think it must have been about 7 o'clock or about that, 7:30 or something. And I was just doing this, and I couldn't. I thought I'll just have a little lay down. And it was midnight when I woke up, and I thought, that's it, I'm not going to get back to sleep now. So I fed the cat and went sort of potted about putting things away. Then I went back to bed and woke up at about 8:15 this morning. It was like, oh, wow. It's oh, dear. I must have really, really, really needed it. It was a mega sleep. Started getting fat lumps under your skin in places where you habitually lean your hands on the desk when you type. Mine's a hard lump. It's like I don't know if you can see it. It's perfectly round. It's just I don't know. It's just like a hard, round, gristly kind of, or bone. It feels like bone. It's that hard. Heaven knows what that is. I think there was one that my ex used to have here, and one day, because it was really worried about it, showed it to the doctor, and he said it's called a phlebolith. I said, what? It's a phlebolith, and we thought he was just joking, but it is. It's called a phlebolith. So maybe that is a form of phlebolith. But people used to whack them with hammers and get rid of them. And I actually did hit this one thinking it might work. Didn't. Hurt a lot, so I weren't going to do it again. But yeah, phlebolith. I said to him one day, this thing on my leg that in the sun used to go bright red. It's just like a sort of round thing. And he went, "It's a bleb." And I went, "What?" I said, "You make these words up." He says, "No, I don't. It is. It's a bleb." So when I looked, it was a bleb. It just I always think he made up words just for me, but he didn't. There was one time he gave me some steroids for bronchitis or something. He gave me these steroids and then it didn't go. So he gave me another lot as well as antibiotics. And I was in the surgery and I said, "Look, I don't know about this." And I got the film out and I went, "Listen to this. This can cause," and it was like bleeding from the eyes, acne, like I need that. And I was just going down the list and he was killing himself laughing. And I went, "Moon face. What's that?" And he said, "You won't get that." And I went, "How do you know?" He went, "Because you have to take it for years to get moon face." And he said, "It is what it is. It says, you get this big, round, glowing face." I went, "Thanks, And he said, "You won't get that. You have to be on it for years." And every time I went to see him after that, as I walked in, he'd go, "Hey, Moonface, hi." And he was great. I loved that doctor. It's a shame he retired. It was so fun. And back in the day, doctors weren't fun, but he was. We used to have a bit of bants, that one and me. How is Gary, the family, grandchildren and Fluffy? Well, Gary's in the bath and he's doing well. He's been busy DIYing. He's been doing our hallway. Our hallway is one of those old-fashioned type conservatories where you get a long hallway leading to the room. But it's not one of those that you sit in nice chairs and look out the glass doors and all that sort of thing. It's just a functional one. But he's been putting new walls up on the inside and it looks very white out there now. So we bought some frosting to go on the window in the door so that it's not just so bright and eye-catching, because you're not used to it. It's very eye-catching. So he's been doing that. He can't finish it yet though. He's been doing the decking with Jamie. He was making the stairs. Jamie helped him make the framework, but Gary's been doing it after that. And then, of course, we had the wedding and the funeral. Well, he didn't go to the funeral, couldn't get time off. But we've had lots of stuff going on. But other than that, he's fine. Gary is cool. And the kids are all doing okay. And the grandchildren, they're all cool as well. They're all good. Everybody is actually well for a change. No illnesses and snots. But, they go to school, so they're definitely going to be getting something. Not sure what you're going to have for supper. Marty and Juniper are heading out to the fair and we'll eat there. Well, that sounds cool. I just noticed as we went out that we have a circus at the other end of the island. And as we went past it, the big top's rather small. It's more of a small top, I think. And I said to Gary, that they don't actually have any animals. What do you think they've got? So we're probably acrobats, clowns and trapeze artists or something. But I've never been to a circus ever. But there is one at the end of the island. Right in a place where it's going to cause lots of traffic if there's lots of people that go. A hardback book does the trick. We don't slam it. It does. And that's what people whack it with. But it hurt last time I tried to whack it. So I don't think I want to whack it anymore. You would think they were made up words. I know, but not. That's the thing. It's a phlebolith. And then to have a bleb. Yeah. He was a great doctor. He'd spent a lot of time in third world countries as a sexual health doctor. I know. So if you ever had anything in nether regions that you were a bit worried about. He knew everything. He was he knew everything. He'd seen it all and he knew it all. But you know, it's a man who wants to get your bits out for a bit dodgy, isn't it? But yeah, I used to hate back in the day going to the doctors for anything that was part of a rude part of the body. even the girls weren't coming out for doctors. You know what I mean? I was so shy, so ridiculously shy. You have kids and your dignity's all gone and you're so used to being mauled that it kind of goes. But yeah, I can remember that. Mega shy. Wouldn't mention it. Just put up with it all. Yeah. I thought Japanese or Chinese used to think a round face like a moon was beautiful. And everyone wants to have an anorexic face. Well, yeah, but that they're kind of, I know it's not great, but they're kind of what they call Mongolian looks, aren't they? Because it's like the Mongols and Mongolians, it's that roundedness. And that was a kind of a facial type or a body type. But yeah, I guess I know what you mean. Even people who are Oriental were having their eyes done so that they would have more westernized eyes and things like that. It's quite sad, really, that, you know, we all have this idea of what normality should be. But it really kind of is more when you're young, isn't it? That everybody wants to kind of have that, you know, everybody wants to be Kate Moss back in the day, but not me. Only if Kate Moss had a few pies, then I'd be more inclined. But, you know, people have like an image, like a body image that is in. And at one point it was the Marilyn Monroe curviness, and then it was Twiggy. And then, you know, you've got like whoever came after that, I don't know. And then you've gone backwards, got Kate Moss. And so, yeah, we're all kind of conditioned by the media to know that this is what the ideal is and this is how it should be. And when you get past a certain age, you just don't care anymore. But when you're young, you're spoon-fed this is the perfect image, this is the perfect face, this is the perfect person. You're kind of spoon-fed that in your magazines and everything else, and you strive to be, you know, acceptable. But then you get to a certain age and you think, what a load of old rubbish, you know. It's true though, I think. The island. Do you think Fluffy will ever let you get another cat? Well, Fluffy would probably put up with and tolerate another cat, but Gary wouldn't. He's not really into. He's okay with Fluffy, but he wouldn't want another cat, which is sad. A hard baby trick. The island. Why did you say the island? I'm lost now. I can't find what you was talking about before. But I live on an island, the island of lost souls. This is. It's not really. Sleepy Hollow. Yeah. But, you know, all I mean is basically when I think it was more so when I was a teenager, because you had all of the publications at the time holding up, this is the image you need to have. And then the worst one that everybody kind of read was the Sun, you know, and then the Star came out, but the Sun with their page 3 and everything else. And it was just such a weird society that we had back then. It's kind of, I suppose, interesting when you look at sociology as a subject and you see all these different, the way that we've all been portrayed over the years. You know, I hated sociology as a subject back in the day. I wasn't very good with it. Fairy Crochet, Mama Christie, why did you say the island? Maybe you can explain it. Somebody needs to gift another cat, and then maybe Gary couldn't say no. He really doesn't want another cat, sadly. I've had a cat ever since I was a little girl. We have always had at least one cat. You know, there's been times when I was living with my mum and I had a cat, that she got herself a cat, so we had two. But mostly when I was a kid, we had one cat, often a dog, but always a cat. And at one point when I had my last house, I had a cat. Somebody gave us one to stop it from getting killed by a dog that was next door. So we had another cat, and then we got Fluffy. So we had three cats, and then Michael and Gemma got a cat. So we ended up with four in the house. That was a worse time. 4 cats. It was just very hard keeping on top of the litter trays and all of the things. I mean, we had a good garden, and some of them went out, some of them didn't go out. And then because the ones that didn't go out pooped in the litter tray, the others thought, oh, okay, then I'll poop in that as well. And it was just a nightmare scenario. So it's nice to have one cat now. But Gary wouldn't want another cat. Yeah, you're right. You couldn't get bras beyond a C cup. Well, I was always, back then, I was always a D or a double D, and it was really difficult. I think my first ever one was a C. And, you know, that's why I was kind of deathly embarrassed about it all. I remember my mum taking me to buy my first ones, and it's just like, didn't want mum to even mention the word boob. You know, it was just such a bad... I think it was because I was so young. I was too young to cope with having them. You know, got puberty very early, around about 9. When everybody else had vest and knickers for PE, I had a bra. And I also had my monthly things happening at the same time. I wasn't about to do PE in a vest and knickers. And it was just that was the start of me being really shy. And I hated it. Oh, yes, I do. I live on the island. Like the Isle of Wight, no, that's nicer. This is the Isle of Sheppey. It's way more accessible than the Isle of Wight. The Isle of Wight, you've got to get a ferry. We've got a road, the bridge. We've got 2 bridges, actually, both side by side, an old one and a new one. And it's only 7 miles long, which the Isle of Wight's bigger. But it is 7 miles long and probably about 5 miles wide, perhaps. And one end was more, had more holiday camps and things like that. And the other end was more where the industry was and shops. It's got, the lines have been blurred now to all of that, but yeah, it's quite quaint and small, and it can be very pretty, but also it can be very naff. Just lots of Londoners came here to sort of go on holiday and stayed. Yeah. What movie did you tell us you had your bridge in it? It was The Beekeeper. Yeah, that's there was a few things that had it, but The Beekeeper is the one where it went off. There was also a few, like there's another one, and there was a mini series. But in Beekeeper, they pretended that bridge was in America, but it was our bridge. And do you know, someone died shooting one of those movies for that bridge. I didn't know that, but what they did. Grandfather would take page 3 out and hide it from you. Oh, that's quite sweet. Isle of Wight, Isle of Man, Guernsey. They were all prettier. Yeah, they're all nicer. You're off. Catch up with me next time. Thank you, Tracy, for coming. Good to see you. I'm going to get off myself soon because I've been babbling away in this corner quite a while. And I'm starving, literally. I don't know about you, but you know, if you put things in the slow cooker and they start to smell good, after a while, you think, oh, are we ever going to eat? But, you know, Gary did it really early. He kind of was starting this food up. And it was before we had breakfast. And to smell that sort of thing that early in the morning made me feel really queasy. It's like, oh, no, I don't really want that now. Carol, hi. Well, better late than never. That's what I say. Thanks very much for coming. Don't forget the thumbie. Yeah, so I'm really, really looking forward to this dinner. It's going to be gorgeous. Gary's such a good cook. He really is. I mean, I'm not a bad cook, but he's a perfectionist. So everything he does is really, really good. It's so nice. So, yeah, and he does do really, really nice stews and casseroles and that sort of thing. And he brought this frozen lump into me and he went, what's this? You didn't label it. I went, that is braised steak. He went, oh, I'll make a casserole then. So he left it out and today he's made it. But at the time I thought, I'll just stuff that in there, in that drawer. I'll know what it is. But of course he moves stuff about. So but it was it. So yeah, I had chicken cooking last night. I was so tired and he was hungry. So I put these chicken legs in and I was asleep. And I said to him, you're going to have to take them out. You're going to have to check on him. And he doesn't really do the ninja. He's so set in his ways. It's oven, stovetop, microwave for whatever. But he will not learn the air fryers and the ninja. He doesn't want to touch them. He just doesn't want to know. Member for 9 months. Well done, Carol. Well, you're fine. It was my fault. I didn't actually announce it. It was just a spur of the moment thing, you know. I just kind of felt like going on. Never been there. You have family in Devonshire and Surrey. Both places are gorgeous. So Kent's not bad, you know, it's got some nice areas, but hi Kathy, how much have you missed? Lots. I've been on ages. Just have to watch the replay at work this afternoon. Beats working, doesn't it? Beats working. Like my first 2 people that came in said that they were lurking and listening to me at work. I used to do that. Just like have a little earpiece in and yeah. Just listen. It's good stuff. But, yeah, I was thinking the other day, was talking with my nieces and stuff at the funeral, and can't remember, I was talking about work, and I just suddenly thought it's been ages since I've had a proper job, like a real job, and I don't know if I could cope now because firstly, I don't know how I'd find the time to have one. And when I used to work for the ambulance service, it was a very relentless, stressful, full-on, full-time job, and nights and days, you know, 12-hour nights, 12-hour days. How on earth I ever did that? I mean, I would, like last night, all I was doing was working on the computer in here, and I was in a coma. I couldn't cope with that, obviously, but the job, it is a real job, I know, but you know what I mean, with a boss. Now, if my boss is a twat, it's me. Got no one to complain to anymore. But, oh, yeah, that's the only thing about working, like working in a place of work. It's putting up with bosses who have no clue, isn't it, really? That's the thing. If you work for a company or you're in charge, that's fine. But if you've got people above you that just don't have a clue, or they play favourites, oh, that's the other thing. All those suck ups, you know, and people who play favourites. I could never cope. I just hated it. So I couldn't play. My friend Crystal said to me one day, I'm going to start playing the game. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, I'm just going to start playing the game and, you know, sucking up. I mean, are you not, are you? It paid off. She got promoted, but still. Fluffy is the boss. good job I can bribe her with food. Oh, thank you. Oh, bless. No, it was my nephew. It was quite unexpected as well, but he was a bit of a drinker on the quiet. We didn't know because he was a high functioning, I guess you could call him a high functioning alcoholic. So none of us from the outside knew that he drank at home the way he did. And whenever they would say to him about stopping, he would say, "Why? I work." And not only did he work, he had businesses and he was high flying. You know, they bought a place in Spain, they bought a house here, and he earned well. And he said, "Why should I? It's not like it stops me from working, is it?" You know, and he carried on, and unfortunately, he wrecked his liver and his kidneys, and that's what did for him. But I still can't really believe it. It's just so young. I know he was 48 when he died, so it was just before his 49th birthday, really, because the day of his funeral was his 49th birthday, which, you know, when you say 49 and 50, it's not young, but it's too young to go. You know, it's far too young. Oh, sorry, Creative Grandma lost her mum, did she? Oh, bless her. I know she was doing a lot for her mum and had to go down there quite often, but I didn't know she'd passed away. That's sad. Oh, poor Glenda. A new voucher. You went to Santa Sack. Well, I don't. The tariffs are part of the shipping, so I wouldn't worry about that. It's all covered. Just try it and see, basically. But it's not a separate charge. There's no separate charge. It's just done at source. But you might be quite surprised to see a certain large YouTuber had placed an order for some mystery boxes. It's a bit nerve-wracking, but she did. And you might see them. It's quite scary. I always worry, you know, as soon as I send one off, I always think, oh, what if they don't like it? But whenever I send off and that person was a YouTuber and I'd watch their unboxings, they'd always go, oh, I love this is so good, this is beautiful. And I'd be like, thank God for that. So I kind of stopped worrying about whether they liked them or not. But this time it's like, oh my God, what if she doesn't like it? It's just a big wuss. Just a big wuss. You keep falling asleep at work every day when you're hitting the keyboard, no matter how many hours of sleep you had. I think it's because I get little REM. Oh, bye. See you later. Thanks for coming in. Thank you very much for leaving me running. Thank you. I have to say, don't be scared. It'll be good for your shop. Well, if they like it, you know what I mean? So, what was I going to say? Yeah, this sleep thing, it's a bit worrying, I find, because I've always been a night owl. I was a sort of person that would be, especially if you're back in the early days of my YouTube, I was always up 3 a.m. in people's live streams, and people just saying, "Don't you ever go to bed?" And then I would go to bed, and I'd get up at 10. So now I get up at 6 because I get tired earlier. And with Gary working days, I don't tend to stay up late anymore. Not that late. Mostly I go to bed about midnight, get up at about 8 o'clock or thereabouts. So sometimes it's 6, depends. But I think recently, if I had a few nights where I've had, say, 6 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, all of a sudden I have a massive catch-up sleep. And that's been happening to me for quite some time. But I never used to find that I got that tired where I just couldn't keep my eyes open anymore. And I got up and made a drink at one point, had a cup of tea, made Gary a coffee and we were watching TV and I was still going off. And in the end, I did go and have a lay down. And I thought, I won't sleep. Next thing you know, it's midnight and I have had quite a long sleep. So yeah, just it's a bit worrying for me because it's something new. And whether it's part of Norman the nodule or not, I don't know. But all I know is that every single blood test I've had has been good. I've had a CT scan from my thorax to my pelvis, and apart from Norman the nodule, there's nothing there. So it should be good. My B12 was fine. All of the blood tests that I've had a whole bank. The whole thing now has been tested. All fine. So what on earth is doing it? I said to Gary, maybe, when my mum and dad were older parents, they had my brother and sister. Then 9 years later, after a big old gap, I came along. So they were in their 30s, early 40s when I was getting, grown up. So I always remember them napping, and it used to worry me. And I blame my sister for this because she used to play dead when she had to look after me, and I would be beside myself crying and screaming, thinking I was alone with a dead body. And of course she wasn't dead, and I could smack her as hard as I possibly could. She wouldn't even flinch. So I think she got me scared of being alone. And so when my parents would nap, I'd get cross with them and sort of like, don't go to sleep. And they were like, we're only just resting our eyes. Well, don't, stop it. Wake up. I couldn't understand why they needed to have a nap. And so I said to Gary, maybe I just now need to nap. I don't think I can do it though. If I'm not absolutely really tired, I won't be able to sleep. But still, it's a bit worrying. I don't like it. I really don't. Going to sleep at that time of day, it's just mad. It's mad. Madness. I'm going back because I've missed some. You hate the drama in the workplace. Yeah, I always did. I remember you said a certain someone ordered, I watch everything she puts out, so I can't wait to see you. Hey. Stress will upset your sleep pattern. It certainly does. Go to bed at 2 and wake up at 8. Have a catch-up sleep every few weeks. Menopause to blame for you, though. Possibly for me. Please watch Tracy's tutorial on her slanted stitch. Going to watch it again to figure out the stitch that's included. It's a nice stitch. Here it is. Very, very nice. Very nice. Here it is. Is that the right way? That might be this is the right way. Although it is reversible. The only bit is the first row. That's the only way you can tell, because other than that, it's reversible. But it's a very nice stitch. Definitely going to make something with that. If I'd have made that a little wider, I could have turned it into a scarf. But like a fool, I just did 31 stitches. It's not big enough, is it? No. When you're stressed, you can't sleep. I think you can go either way, can't you? You can be either stressed out and can't wake up and you're sleeping all the time, or you can be stressed out and awake. And unfortunately, I'm a stressed out and awake kind of girl. I'd love to be able to sleep my stress away, but I can't. When I am stressed, I'm awake. It's USA that implements tariffs. I know it sucks, but there's very little Tracy can do about that. Very true. But, it's all covered. You should be fine. Just check it, put it through the checkout and see what you get. Siblings can be so mean. They certainly can, Lisa. Certainly can. She was, when she was young, wasn't the nicest. Have I got another Tracy? Did another Tracy come in? We're just taking over the world. We are taking over the world. Stack stitch makes it so much easier. It really does. It really, really does. Ask them if you can do like a sheep study or something. Oh, sleep study. Sheep. That'd be fun. I love that one. I like the wool. Sleep study. Do they offer that even through your? I think they probably do. You can probably go and get that sort of thing done. Yes, hello Tracy, welcome in. Don't forget the thumbs, guys, if you just come in. The thumbs. So yeah, you can get all that, but they put these monitors on you, and I don't know how easy it is to go to sleep with a monitor on. You know, when you something like that would be playing on in my mind and purposely keep me awake. But yesterday was weird, just very weird. I was fine. I was working all day, did a couple of videos, made the tutorial, and then all of a sudden couldn't stay awake. And there was no getting tired. It just, I walked out of here, sat down, and Gary said, "Why the long face?" And I went, "Have I got a long face?" And basically I was off asleep. And I was, "I haven't got a long face, have I? I didn't think I did." You know, I was like, fine. But watching TV, it was just like trying to keep my eyes open and watch at the same time. And then I missed great big chunks where I was asleep with my eyes open. And then I was asleep with my eyes closed. It's just gone. Just gone. So bad. So bad. You had a sleep study one time and there was absolutely no conclusion other than I have a long palate and perhaps surgery could help, but it would change your voice. See, I got enough siblings. Well, sometimes, sometimes I have noticed a change in my voice. And when I had the questions all come my way after they found Norman the nodule, one of them was, "Are you more breathless now than you used to be?" And that is a yes. And did you notice any change to your voice? And I said, yeah, it's definitely more husky and gravelier than it used to be, because it was more high pitched and it was more, I know this, there is a more of a bassish tone in there than there used to be. So that was enough for them to kind of send me down the urgent pathway. So I had the scan and they reviewed it and said that there was no cancer present, so they've taken me off that urgent pathway and they've put me on the nodule pathway. So that means 3 months time they're going to re-scan me, but I don't know what causes the voice change, the more breathlessness, and the fact that I keep getting that in the back of my throat all the time and I keep getting infections. That's the reason. So I've got a lung specialist and a respiratory specialist now that I've got to go and see. And then I was sitting there minding my own business yesterday and suddenly I had loads of missed calls from the doctors and I thought, why? And I realised then it's the inhaler. She wanted to see how I was getting on with it. But I was starting to worry. I thought, why are they bombarding me? I don't like it. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. So it wasn't going to change where you sleep, just a voice. So, and you're a snorer, evidently a big one. I've always said I don't snore, but somebody did record me once, and it's more like this. It's more of like a breather with the back of my throat more than anything else. Probably why I dry out, and you know. But I don't kind of honk. Gary does. When Gary can snore so loud that you'd hear him in the living room, he can be very, very loud. And if he takes his hearing aid out, he snores mega loud. So he doesn't like sleeping with it in, because you know what hearing aids do? If you put them against something, they whistle. So he can be woken up by it whistling, and that he doesn't like it. But if he takes it out or turns it off, then he snores bad. But he has, since he's been losing weight, he hasn't snored anywhere near as much as he used to, because he was every night. But now I don't always need earplugs because he's not always honking away. But Fluffy snores. She snores. At one point I was in the front room and there was Gary snoring one place and Fluffy the other, and it's stereo snoring going on. But yeah, she sort of makes a like a little snore. I had a cat called Norris that really snored. She was very loud. I do miss my other cats, you know, and I will miss having a cat when I no longer have Fluffy. But Gary is kind of adamant that he doesn't want any more cats. And I don't know if he will stick to that when I'm catless. But the way he looks at it is, it's easier when you go on holiday. And I think his family have been more dog people than cat people anyway. And his mum always had loads of horses and dogs. And so that's how he was brought up, with horses and dogs, not cats. They had the odd cat, but they weren't really cat people. So yeah, it's just been brought up all wrong. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off now because I've been babbling away in this corner for a long time, and I do need to go and zhuzh Gary along and get dinner. And I will see you guys. I don't know how I'm going to end this. I can't remember. Oh yeah, I can click the button that says end stream. That'd be the one. So thanks for coming in and spending your afternoon with me. And well, if I don't know what time it is where you guys are, it's afternoon here and early evening now at 6 o'clock, definitely dinner time. I'll see you soon. Thank you for coming in and spending time with me. And thanks to Mishi for the super chat. And bye for now, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.